Welcome to our channel. We're the sisters. I'm Mothleen.
And I'm Berlinda. Today we're going to be discussing the ABCs of behavior.
Do you know your ABCs? Well, the last time we were together, I shared with you how my son has been getting, a lot of tantrums. And so, since I am home, I think I told you that we're both educators.
Yes.
So I'm home during the summer and I really enjoy the time that I spend with my son because it gives me time to, first of all, rejuvenate. And I also get the time to incorporate everything that I've learned in my parent caregiver trainings and ABA. And so we've been having a lot of tantrums, and I decided, I need to really do something to try to mitigate or reduce these maladaptive behavior. So, do you know your ABCs? So, what I've been doing is I want to know what motivates those behaviors, because as you know, when your child has a behavior, they're communicating something to you. Behavior is communication. It's a form of communication, isn't it?
Yes.
So what I try to do is I've been trying to figure out, okay, when he has the tantrums, what happens right before the tantrum? That is the antecedent. And then I try to figure, and then he has the behavior, right? Where, you remember how when he has behaviors, what does he do? He usually
pulls your hair.
Yeah.
He sometimes throws things. He does get aggressive, because he's verbal, but sometimes it's hard for him to express himself.
Mm-hmm.
So in that point, when it's hard for him to express how he's feeling, he gets frustrated, and so the aggression comes. So this is when we decide, okay, we have to prompt him and say things like, so how do you feel? Are you bored?
Yes.
Are you hungry? Do you want to go outside? And at that point, that's when he starts to calm down, because because at this point you're coming down to his level and you're helping him to bring it out.
Yes.
And then because you're prompting him.
Yes.
And so now he's calm, it calms him down now.
So, I'm glad my sister mentioned that. Basically, that's how we try to show him those appropriate behaviors that would replace the maladaptive behavior.
Right.
So once, we say ABC. So A stands for antecedent. B is behavior. And basically, and I want to know what happens, what's the consequence? What's your reaction to the behavior? Because the way that you react to the behavior will determine whether or not this behavior will return.
Yes.
And it will determine the frequency of that behavior. So guys, I went and I said, you know what? I need to do something. So this is what I've been doing. My son likes the token system. All right. Not only that, that's also used in school. That's what they use. So I've been using this. So you don't have to go out and buy anything, just whatever you have at home, where he can see it. For example, with me, he likes basketball. So I cut out pictures of basketballs and laminated it. Or you could put a happy face, whatever it is that your child enjoys.
Right. Because remember, to each its own. Your child, and you understand their comfort level and so forth. So
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I decided to do is I have been writing things down. When I say know your ABCs, I've been writing down, when the tantrum took place, and again, what happened before the behavior, what happened after, what I thought motivated it. Was it because he wanted attention? Was it because he was trying to escape from something that he tried to avoid doing? Or was it because he couldn't access his preferred activity? And so what I would do is I would make sure that I put it, my objective that is, in a positive way. Like my sister said, come down to his level, so, into a way that he understands. And I would say, instead of having a tantrum, why don't you tell me what it is that you want? Like my sister said, we prompt, right?
Yes. Yeah, you have to prompt, like, because again, teach us own, but we know, like my nephew, we know that when it gets to the point where he's out of control and as he starts to have aggression, it's just the fact that he cannot express it. So he needs the help. So he needs that prompting to help him. And so you have to be the one to say, how do you feel? Are you bored?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want a popsicle? Do you want your tablet? So a lot of times, again, this is what you have to do so that he can start expressing himself.
And so, like I was saying before, and then, so what I say is, I would ask him what he want to work for. And
he's very goal oriented,
yes,
and he likes to be praised too.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so if he says, oh, I want to work for a drive to the beach. Now understand that driving to the beach is not really driving to the beach. He wants to drive to the beach and he wants us to stop at a public bathroom because, again, that's his obsession.
He's obsessed with
public bathrooms. So, and I say, okay, if what happens is every time he engages in something like aggression, then I take away a token. Or if he engages in breaking property or, self-injuries also, because he also will, bang his head and things like that. Every time he engages in that, I take away a token. And if it so happens that he has nothing left, then he knows he does not get what he was asking for.
And believe me, it works, because the fact that it's visual, because, with him, it's all, everything is in the literal sense. So a lot of times he has to see it. And once he sees it, it's in front of his face, then it gives him like security, because like he knows for sure that, okay, you mean what you say, you're going to do what you say.
Exactly.
So now I can see it. And not only can I see it, I know what's going to happen in the future, because he likes to know what's going to happen. He doesn't like to be surprised either. Exactly. So all that stuff comes into play, and it gives him a sense of security.
Yes. And so, like my sister said, it's been working. And one way that I've been figuring out that this strategy's been working is that I've been getting bursts of tantrums. You would say, well, if you're getting bursts of tantrums, that means it's not working. No, that usually means it's working. And he's trying even harder to get whatever reaction that he wants, and he notices that he's not getting it. And eventually, this, it doesn't mean that he's not going to get tantrums, but at least he's learning that, just because he has a tantrum, it doesn't mean he's going to get his way. And also he's learning not to have aggression, not to break property. So I'm teaching him skills. I'm teaching him coping skills to replace, again, that maladaptive behavior. I'm not changing him, because what I've learned is when it comes to people with autism, I have to change for my son. So I wanted to share with you the strategies that we've been using, and we'd like to know also what you've been using.
And another thing too we wanted to tell you is that the fact that now, the tantrums are fewer, well, actually, no, they're more, but they're shorter, and there's no aggression. So that shows progression. So, it's, with autism, it's all about baby steps. Don't expect miracles, and, because the more baby steps you see, that shows progress. Okay. And again, if you have any things that you're going through right now in your journey and you'd like to share, please put them in the comments and show us and tell us about your strategies and what you're going through. Because remember, you are an extended family.
Thank you so much for spending time with us. Bye.
Till next time. Bye.